I told you guys I'd share with you some repairs. So we're gonna work on the slew motor. So tear right into this thing and see how hard this is gonna be. Start by taking the top off to get access. It's nice, it's only 4 screws. The switch is wired in right there for the lights. So we'll just lay that off to the side. Slew motor is right here. And we'll go ahead and disconnect our strobe light real quick. Hang him over there. And it looks like it's just going to be 4 screws. That one might not be the easiest to get to. Try and get the hard one here. Getting it out will be alright, getting it back in is going to be a different story. And I think what I might want to do while I have this thing locked down here is just go ahead and get my wires off of there. You can tell, here's our new motor. Whoa! As I kick the camera over, got our new motor right here. Not used to working with anybody else around here. So we open this package up, you can see we just got tabs on there. So we got to solder our wires onto those tabs. And then put a gear on it. Hopefully they didn't Loctite the snot out of their gear. So we got some heat shrink on here. So we'll peel that heat shrink off to access our wire. Already got the solder and iron heating up. Okay. They did not do a real good job on soldering that wire. No wonder they put heat shrink on it. Everything's frayed. That is awful. I'd have to hide that with heat shrink too. I'm going to get a small slice on this and take that heat shrink all the way off of there. I don't want to nick my insulation on my wire. So just do it enough where you can peel it loose. Alright, let's get these wires off of here. Looks like they soldered these opposite too. I'll show you this. Get in here. So you see that positive mark right there? So I would think the positive wire should be soldered to that one. The new one's got it too. So it probably doesn't matter a whole lot. It's DC, but we'll probably wire it, I don't know, the same, I guess. I might go a little different. If I burn my motor up, I got a good motor. Right? We know the motor works, it's just the gearing inside. Because this is the motor, and then this is the gearbox right here. So if nothing else, I could probably just take the stripped gear out of here and put it in that one. Or the stripped gear out of this one. You know what I mean. Try not to burn my little tiny wires here. And I got enough to play with. I'm just going to cut these off, actually. I just don't like the looks. So since I got a little bit of play, because I don't want all that, mess with all that fraying. So we'll snip those off, and while I'm here, let's go ahead and strip them. We don't need that much, just a little bit. Twist, and what we'll do is we'll tin them. I'll just put a little bit of my flux on here. My flux is starting to get really sticky. I have to get some new flux. Take a little solder, stick it on there. Get that dude up, tinned. Looks good. Okay, alright. So now those won't fray on me while I'm messing around here. Get this other motor out. Okay, one last screw. Now this should just have a pinion gear on it, so it should just slide right out of here. Boom, just like that. There's our pinion. So our pinion's in good shape. So all the gears are good on that, so it's definitely not a pinion problem, which as much swing as I was getting, I could tell it that was not the issue. So what I do want to do, that runs so nice and smooth though. I think they got good bearings and stuff, but there's so much play in this too. This is where they messed up. This got too much play, so that's why I get so much slop in the machine. Just normal, it's too sloppy. It should be solid. I gotta clean this thing up, figure out how to get this pinion off of here. Got to be a screw somewhere in here. Or not. Guys, that's just pressed on. That's a bummer. So it just slid right off there. There's no screw in that at all. Things that make you go, Well. Okay. So what we got to do is we got to take our mount and get our mount put on the new motor. But what I want to do is take some measurements, because I'd like to replace this motor with a better motor. I just went with the OEM because I knew it would fit and I knew this was going out. So we'll write these measurements down on the pad here. This don't look like it's going to be too bad. There, old motor's off. New motor. Going on. Don't forget which screws went where. just take those two. Call it good. Make sure it's tight. Don't tear it apart again. Now for this gear. Ooh, let's see if we can get this on there. I don't know. Gee, that's all there was to it. Problem is, man, if they had, I don't know. Let's see. So that gear is flush with the plate down below. I don't want to rub, but that motor should be clearing that as well. So, That's very tiny, but check this out. So the motor itself is really tight, but look at that slop. That's where my slop in the slew comes from. That don't look like a lot right there, but when you transition it into that whole body, I'm getting that much slop from just that little movement, because it's exponential as it goes out. I want to fix that. How do I fix it? Wow, man, that's so much better though. Check this out though. All right. Now that's just in the gears inside, so we'd lost that little slop there. So I just wicked in the CA glue just as a filler. That's all I need is a filler. And then put some quick set on it. Man, yeah. Hey, if that works, I'll be super happy. Then maybe I won't have to get an upgraded motor, because the motor itself is fine. Well, the gearbox, if I can get one with a better gearbox, it'll be even better. So let's go ahead and throw this dude in here. Boom. All right, 4 screws. Let's start with an easy one. Get her locked in place. Make sure all the other holes line up good. Okay. Tight, but not too tight. Get this one held on. I gotta work that one. Hey, man, that was easier than I thought it would be. Sweet. Boom. And you know what? I don't know. I'm thinking, what would you guys do? I'm thinking maybe just wire it back up exactly like it was. Because if that causes reverse rotation, then I have to change everything in my radio. We know it was working before. So maybe we'll just wire it how they had it wired. I don't like it, but I'll do it. So, alright. Let's get our solder ready to go. So we'll just put a little juicy juice on here. Whoop, not too much. Alright. Get the good solder. And red was back here. I don't know, should I put some heat shrink on it? I think I got a little bit. I don't have all the frayed wires, but it still looks neater. See if I got some little stuff. Way down there. I think this will shrink up. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, I don't have fancy red stuff. That's the black stuff. Okie dokie. Now we're ready. think I just want to keep the wires low out of the way. I don't want them sticking up. So we'll start with this one here. Okay, I'll do that one there like that. And then this guy here. Yeah, we'll put him right there. Oops, that's not the solder I want. That's the solder I want. We really don't need heat shrink on these, but look at that. Even just the gear looseness. See how much slop there is just in the gear? Like that's just the difference in the teeth. So you're not gonna fix that no matter how tight you get that gear on the shaft. I mean, it's a little bit better than it was. Wow. Boy, you'd have to have really tight tolerances to have that solid. I mean, those gear clearances would have to be tight, and they're not tight. So, I guess that's what we deal with in the hobby world, right? Okay, well that's it. So, motor's in, on. All I gotta do is put the top back on. Don't forget to plug in my light. I remember which direction that goes. This way. That's it. So, beautiful. Done. Ready to rock and roll. Oh, and this, let's, a couple Phillips, just a minute. Give me a Phillips here. Let's take a look at what was causing our issue. Let's pull this gearbox. And I keep the gears because a lot of times I'll have the same gears in a couple different spots in this from what I've seen. I see pieces of metal. Oh my goodness, look at all those teeth. All right. Look at them all sitting there. Dink, 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 dink. Bunch of them. There's our gears. Oh, look at that. Oh, right there in the front, there's a bunch. All right, so our main gear looks good. That's the one on our drive. So that's not bad. But this one right here, is a goner. It's a goner. So that's a 28 tooth. Looks like about a 48 pitch. Ah, man. So there's 3 teeth, two teeth missing on that one. So that's 2 teeth. All right, this guy right here. That one, that's where we get a lot of problems right there. That's 1, 2, 3 teeth gone on that one. 3, 4, there's another one. 4 teeth. Yeah, this was not going much longer. That part of it looks pretty good. These are the hard ones to find replacements for because you got to match both gears. So that's, let's see if that one says. It's a 1228. So that's a 1228 gear that's stripped out there. And a 28 tooth that's stripped out there. So, but here we got a 1228 in good shape. No problems there. So, that one, you might be able to make it work. They're a little bit shorter on the shaft on that one than this one is. This one's got a longer shaft, so that might not work as a replacement. But the same gears might not strip out. And it looks the same, another 1228, but it's in good shape. So it's just that last gear. I mean, and just look how tiny these things are. That's what I'm talking about, the tiny gears and stuff that they use for these big monster machines. I mean, my 1/10 scale equipment runs way larger gearing, larger screws. I mean, look at that tiny little shaft on that motor. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like, and the least they could do is make it planetary. Give me some planetary gears so it's, you know, a little less likely to strip gears that way. Man, those are so itty bitty. But it gets the job done. It's not the first gears I've stripped though either. The motor, the drive gears are the same way. Very, very similar. So I just start running a collection, and then once I get enough motors, I can just get replacements. Hopefully have replacements. Hopefully it ain't the same gear stripping out. But eventually at some point, you gotta be able to make it work. Yeah, that is awful. Man. There we go. So, now we see exactly what the problem is. But we'll hold on to this, and, you know, maybe it'll be a different gear that strips out, and we'll have a replacement for it so we don't have to replace the whole motor. The whole thing was only like $27, I think, for that motor and box. So about the same for the drive motor. But, I mean, really, they expect them to be a little bit stronger. So, but at least it's easy to repair and replace. So I'm good with that. So anyway, I'll tune off, close this thing up. Hope you guys enjoyed that little mechanical tour.